She didn't speak much. But when she did, people listened. Aria Bennett had walked the halls of Oak Valley High for nearly 3 months without making a sound. She sat in the back of every class, always wore long sleeves even in spring, and kept her dark brown hair tied low and tight, like a shield against the world. She was the kind of student that teachers forgot to take attendance for, not because they didn't care, but because she made herself invisible. She liked it that way. Aria wasn't shy. She wasn't weak. She just had a past she didn't want to repeat. Back in her old school, silence had been her armor, a way to survive. But Oak Valley had its own predators. And they had just found their new prey. They were called the Ringers, a trio of popular senior boys who lived for drama, laughter, and cruelty. Tyler, the ringleader, charming but venomous. Luca, the joker, who laughed hardest when others cried. Brent, a muscular jock who used his size like a weapon. And from the moment Aria walked in, they noticed her silence. To them, that meant weakness. And weakness. That was an invitation. It started small. Snide remarks in the hallway. Notes dropped on her desk calling her mute mouse. Books knocked from her hands when no one was looking. But Aria always picked them up calmly, tucked her hair behind her ear, and moved on. No emotion. No reaction. Which, of course, only made them want more. Then came the Friday before spring break. Aria had just finished biology and was walking to her locker, tucked between the art wing and the gym, quiet, out of sight, her favorite spot. She spun the lock. Clicked it open. Reached for her sketchbook. And that's when she heard the snickers. She turned, and saw them. Tyler. Luca. Brent. Blocking the hallway. "Hey, Mouse," Tyler said, smirking as he leaned against a locker. "You ever think about speaking? Or are you just hoping someone notices you enough to care?" Aria didn't answer. Luca grinned. Maybe she's hiding something under those sleeves. Or maybe, he lunged forward, she just needs a little encouragement. Before Aria could react, Luca grabbed her shirt by the collar and yanked. With a loud rip, the fabric tore open across the shoulder and chest, exposing her undershirt and the red scars beneath, thin, faded reminders of a life no one here understood. Gasps. Laughter. The sound of a phone camera snapping. But Aria didn't flinch. She slowly pulled the torn shirt closed, looked Luca dead in the eyes. And whispered, "That was a mistake." The next 3 seconds rewrote everything. With fluid grace, Aria dropped her bag, stepped forward, and grabbed Luca by the wrist. Then, a judo flip so clean, so fast, so precise, that Luca hit the locker floor with a loud thud. Tyler cursed and stepped forward. "What the hell is wrong with you?" But before he could grab her, Aria pivoted on one foot, swept his leg, and sent him crashing down with a hip throw so perfect it could have been in the Olympics. Brent hesitated, half raising his fists, but Aria simply stared at him. He backed off. The hallway froze. "You think silence is weakness," she said quietly. "It's control." And with that, she picked up her torn bag and walked straight to the principal's office. What happened next spread like wildfire. Students who saw it couldn't believe it. Teachers who dismissed Aria as just another quiet kid now whispered her name in the break room. Phones buzzed with videos of the flip, most of which were taken down quickly, thanks to the school's zero-tolerance policy on fights. But even Principal Rourke, a no-nonsense ex-Marine, had to admit. Aria didn't throw the first blow. And so, she wasn't punished. Luca and Tyler were suspended. Brent was warned and put on observation. But more than that, something shifted. Aria didn't become popular overnight. That wasn't her style. But students started nodding at her in the hallway. A few sat beside her at lunch. One girl named Natalie, who used to sit alone near the vending machine, walked up to her after art class and said, "Thank you for not staying silent." Aria smiled. Just a little. Just enough. Later that week, Mr. Becker, the school's judo club coach, walked up to her after gym and asked, "Ever trained before?" Aria nodded. "Since I was 6. My dad was a sensei." Mr. Becker grinned. "Would you like to teach?" By the end of the semester, the judo club had its first female co-captain. And the school. It started to feel safer, not because of rules or surveillance, but because someone proved that silence isn't weakness. It's strength, waiting. Moral of the story. Sometimes the quietest voices carry the loudest power. And those who seek to humiliate others will always be shocked when the ones they thought were broken rise. Because courage isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's silent. Steady. And one judo flip away from changing everything.